All right, before we even start, can we just take a second, a deep breath? Because what you're about to see is something that's rewriting the entire standard of P-pop. This isn't just a stage show, this is a statement. SB19 didn't just perform at the Filipino Music Awards 2025, they redefined what it means to be on that stage. And trust me, by the end of this video, you're gonna understand why this live performance is shaking not just the Philippines, but the global pop scene. So stay tuned, hit that like button early, because we're diving into this together, right here on SpectraShowcase. You know, every once in a while, you get a performance that makes you sit up, forget you're holding your drink, and just stare. The Filipino Music Awards 2025 did exactly that. Not just because of the lighting, not just because of the crowd, but because of the precision. SB19 came on stage with that quiet kind of confidence. The kind that says, we know what we're about to do. From the first beat, the synchronization of the dancers hit me like a wave. Every move was timed like clockwork. And you know that feeling when choreography just clicks? That's what we're talking about. This wasn't just a group performing. This was discipline turned into art. And right then, I knew this performance was going to mark a milestone in the journey of P-pop evolution. Now, let's talk about that first transition, because that moment when the beat dropped, goosebumps. The camera panned across the stage, and SB19 hit that elbow movement with such sharp precision, it felt like you could overlay each member perfectly. You know that level of synchronization where you think, there's no way this is live. But it is. That's the mark of true professionals, trained beyond comfort, performing beyond limits. And what I love most is how they bring that fire but keep the authenticity. They don't just dance to the music, they become the music. Every facial expression, every controlled breath. This is where the keyword SB19 live performance earns its full weight. Because no amount of studio production can replace what they just did on that stage. I'm telling you, the stage was electric. You could feel the audience holding their breath between beats. There's this one part, I'm sure you noticed it, where the dancers moved in perfect sync and SB19 stood center stage, completely still. That pause spoke louder than any sound. Because when you have presence like that, you don't need to move. You just exist, and the crowd moves with you. And that's something not every artist has. That's the mark of evolution. The P-pop evolution we've been talking about isn't just about sound. It's about poise, precision, and purpose. What we're seeing right here is a group that's carrying the torch not just for Filipino music, but for a new global identity. Now, talk about those vocals under pressure. SB19 didn't just move flawlessly, they sang through it. Let me just say, jumping, spinning, and still holding your pitch, that's superhero-level breath control. I remember thinking, do they train their vocal cords separately for this? Because that stability doesn't just happen, it's trained. And this right here is what separates a performance group from a performing powerhouse. This is artistry plus athleticism. Their live vocals hit perfectly, even through movement. And that's why the SB19 live performance stands apart from so many others. You can hear their training, their discipline, and their soul. Okay, let's talk about the production design for a second. The lighting, the camera movements, the symmetry of dancers, every element was crafted to amplify their energy. You could see how the Filipino Music Awards 2025 invested in this. The entire setup looked cinematic, a visual declaration that P-pop isn't behind anyone anymore. And when that bridge hit, the slow-motion camera work, the mix of neon tones and shadow, it was pure art. You can tell this isn't a borrowed formula. It's original. It's Filipino creativity breaking into mainstream global visuals. That's why performances like this don't just entertain, they educate. They tell the world, hey, this is what P-pop looks like when it's done right. Now, let's give a shout out to the styling. Ken's oversized fit, the balance of sharp edges with soft textures, and that dual-toned hair, iconic. You can tell that every member has evolved, not just in talent, but in identity. And that's something you can't fake. The way SB19 carries themselves now feels like they know they're not just representing a band, they're representing a movement. So fans connect so deeply because they can see themselves in this growth story. And honestly, that's what makes this whole P-pop evolution so powerful. It's not about competition, it's about elevation. Okay, let's break it down technically. SB19's strength lies in their execution consistency. No matter the platform, live or studio, they deliver with the same control. It's that consistency that builds trust with the audience. When people see SB19 live performance, they know what that means. Real vocals, real choreography, real emotion. And that's something global audiences crave now, authenticity. They've transcended that early stage where people were comparing P-pop to K-pop. Now, SB19 defines their own standard. It's not imitation, it's innovation. Watching this performance, I couldn't help but think, we're witnessing history. P-pop isn't just rising, it's establishing roots. Every award, every note, every live stage is another brick in a foundation that future artists will build on. The Filipino Music Awards 2025 marked that turning point. You could feel the maturity of production, the pride of representation, and the unity in sound. And SB19, they didn't just perform, they cemented themselves as icons. This performance is going to be studied, referenced, and replayed for years, because this is the kind of artistry that changes a scene. If there's one thing to take away from this, it's that evolution doesn't happen overnight. SB19 has spent years shaping their craft, representing Filipino artistry with every step. This SB19 live performance at the Filipino Music Awards 2025 isn't just another show. It's proof that hard work, unity, and passion can transform a local dream into a global movement. So if you felt that same fire, that same pride, then you're part of this journey too. Let me know in the comments, what was your favorite moment from this performance? Which part gave you chills? And hey, if you love this kind of deep dive reaction, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, because here on SpectraShowcase, we celebrate art, passion, and evolution, one performance at a time.